Welcome to the Dirty Folks Podcast. I am Dirty Folks. All right, so this is just perfect for the daycare because this is massive toddler. What we have today is Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears being accused of grooming toddlers. Real toddlers this time.
Momma.
As the story says it, Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears accused of grooming and molesting siblings in a sexually explicit skits, lawyer says. The suit, which was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, alleges that Haddish and Spears coerced two siblings on separate occasions to take part in the skits, including one named Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Wow. Okay, let me explain something to you. On the left, you have an orphaned Chicago chick that was alleged to be sexually molested and abused, who was a known thought and known Thotiana, and brags about how many people she has sex with, how she wants to have sex with various white men, but can only date black men, and want black men to lose his fortune for that recycled vagina, although white men could get it free. So that is on the left. On the right, we have a very unattractive, very unfunny comedian. Now, I don't really have a problem with Ari Spears because he did his job on Mad TV, and there's a lot of unfunny comics out there. But I just never really thought he was funny. And he always looks like a domestic violence victim, and apparently I was always afraid to fight ugly people because when you mess with ugly people, they don't have nothing to lose, so they're normally the best fighters. But he let that light skinned dude on the 5150 show beat his ass. So uh, you just ugly for no reason. You're not funny. You're not charming. You ain't rich, and you can't fight. That's crazy. So these two unfunny people who have both been in comedy for almost 20 years, but I guarantee you can't think of any one-liners from them to be like, oh, that was my joint. Remember that line? They have no quotable phrases. These two people, uh, I guess it was about 10 years ago, they decided to get together and do some comedy skits together, apparently with some children. So let's see how this worked out for them. It says, a young woman and her brother have been accused comedians Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears in a new lawsuit of grooming them when they were children and coercing them into filming sexually explicit skits. Just as a sidebar, just as a sidebar, to film sexually explicit skits and to produce them and to distribute them is child porn. That is basically what R. Kelly is in jail for. He's not in jail for statutory rape. He's in jail for child porn. At least that was his first charge. So, what they're saying is that Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish had them in child porn. Okay, cool. A lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on Tuesday by siblings identified only as Jane Doe, now 22, and John Doe, who was born in 2007. Jane, who is John's legal guardian, is the plaintiff in the lawsuit, both individually and on her brother's behalf. Hold on, let me say something real quick. You don't think it's weird for the 22-year-old sister to be the legal guardian of a 15-year-old little brother? She's only 7 years older than he is. Why is she a legal guardian? Is it just for this case? But normally legal guardian is something that you have to file for. I find that strange. We're going to talk about that. The lawsuit alleges that Haddish and Spears coerced the siblings when they were children to take part in sexually explicit skits in separate incidents, which they say stole the youth of a 7-year-old child and a 14-year-old child. The lawsuit was first reported by the Daily Beast. Attorneys for Haddish and Spears, however, have dismissed the lawsuit as a shakedown. Deborah Opry, an attorney for Spears, said the comedian isn't going to fall for any shakedown. In a separate statement, Andrew Bretter, an attorney for Haddish, said the plaintiff's mother had been trying to assert these bogus claims against Miss Haddish for several years. Calling it, I'll go that later. Calling the allegations meritless, Brettler said Haddish had previously shown that she would not be shaken down. Now, the accuser's mother has her adult daughter representing herself in a lawsuit. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action, the attorney said. Jane said he and her Jane said she and her brother
are not surprised that Mr. Brettler would attempt to divert attention away from the legitimate claims filed by my brother and me, to shift the blame and attention to our mother, who is not a party to this lawsuit.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Even if the mother isn't a party to the lawsuit, if they were 7 and 14 years old, the mother is the legal guardian and custodian of her children. So diversion or no diversion, were the kids kidnapped? Was the mother coerced? Was there a contract? There's so many questions to be asked and answered. But I'm not sure that the adult daughter now, at 22 years old, can say that her mother wasn't privy when she was 14 years old. But I'm no attorney. What do I know? I'm just cursed with common sense. Let's continue. The siblings knew Haddish and Spears as children because their mother shared a close relationship with Haddish, according to the lawsuit. In 2013, let me pause for a fact. That was Haddish's homegirl. Let me repeat that. Their mother shared a close relationship with Haddish. Bro, these are horrible human beings. I keep telling you, black women are horrible human beings. So you have one woman who's scarred from foster care, a stray bust down, claiming to be raped, claiming to be homeless. Maybe she was homeless. Who, by the blessings of a mouthpiece, sucked her way into comedic opportunity. Because no matter how long Haddish was cracking jokes, we don't know none of her jokes. We didn't know who she was until she was that plus one in the movie Girl Trip. We knew who Queen Latifah was. We knew who everybody else was in that movie. We didn't know who Tiffany Haddish was. She was a virtual unknown. She sucked her dick or sucked the clit to get in a major film, a major B-level film. It was a black movie. But it was still good distribution. It was in good theaters. Great cast. Dumb movie. Great cast. And she got thrust into superstar. She attached herself to the right people, to Kevin Hart and such. Fucked the right people, Common, the such. And made her name a brand. I still can't quote a Tiffany Haddish joke, but made her name a brand. And with that being said, this was her homegirl. So not only would Tiffany allegedly put her friend's children in compromising positions, but the friend will put her own children in compromising positions. These baby mama terrorists, these toddlers, are horrible human beings. They're just horrible people, yo. Just fucking horrible people. Let's continue. In 2013, Haddish appeared as a speaker at a summer camp that Jane, then 14, attended, the lawsuit said. During the visit, Haddish allegedly told Jane that she had the perfect role for her. Neither Jane nor her mother was aware what the shoot would entail, the lawsuit alleged, adding only Spears and Haddish knew the storyline for the skit. The skit ended up involving Haddish teaching Jane how to mimic fellatio, however, the lawsuit alleged. Oh, she was sucking. Yeah!
Momma,
In the incident, the lawsuit said a video had begun playing in the recorded studio showing an older man and a college-age woman arguing over a sub sandwich before eventually starting to eat the sandwich. Hold on, gotta use a good voice.
Simultaneously from either end.
The two appeared to moan and make
Sexual noises as they both ate the sandwich in a manner that simulated the act of fellatio.
the lawsuit said. So, I don't even know how the child gets into this. But what it sounds like, if they're talking about an older man, which sounds like, I'm going to assume that's Ari Spears, and college age woman, which I'm going to assume is Tiffany Haddish, arguing over a sub sandwich and both eating the sandwich while they moaning like they're doing fellatio. Do you know how gay that shit is for Ari Spears to be eating a sub sandwich and act like he's eating a dick? That's troubling by itself. That right there is kind of, but, 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 okay. But I still don't see where the kid comes in with this. Maybe the kid had to watch it. And I don't know. Physically, I'm sorry.
Physically, emotionally, and mentally uncomfortable. Plaintiff Jane Doe mimicked the acts that Haddish and Spears wanted her to do so she can go home.
It said. So they made the girl eat a sandwich and moan. Okay, at 14. At 14, that girl was already busting. But, I digress. The lawsuit alleged that the next year, Haddish told the siblings' mother that she had a role for her younger brother, John, then 7, for a skit.
She said it was a sizzle reel for Nickelodeon.
The stool said it. Okay. Nickelodeon. All right. This is the kicker here. The plaintiff's mother dropped off John and Jane together so that Jane could chaperone. But the siblings were told that they needed to be separate for the Nickelodeon skit, the lawsuit alleged. But here's my thing. The plaintiff's mother dropped them off. She dropped off a 7-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl and told the 14-year-old girl to take care of herself and chaperone her 7-year-old brother. And the mother just left. That bitch just went La Vida Loca. Mama just took off. Mama's an ass. It was later said that John stripped down to his underwear for a skit titled
Through a pedophile's eyes.
about a child being left with a man, played by Spears, who
Spears at the child lustfully.
in multiple scenes before massaging John with oil and later getting into a bathtub with him and forcing the child
Closer to him in the tub.
in the final scene. The child is
Portrayed as leering lustfully.
as Spears, who was only wearing shorts before the beginning of the to rub oil on his body, the lawsuit said. The video ends with the words,
"Watch who you leave your kids with."
appearing on the screen, the lawsuit alleged. I'm going to continue. Let me see this. Black women are horrible parents. Horrible. Horrible. They'll leave their kids with anybody but the biological father. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that until you understand it. They will give their children to anyone, unsupervised. Drop them off herself, hit the corner. With anyone except the biological father. This is how much they hate men. This is how much they hate children. You can't hate that many people without hating yourself. So this is how much they hate themselves. But they will give their kids to anybody for any reason. Brenda's baby in this bitch. They are horrible fucking people, man. They're just terrible people. And they destroy everything they touch. Their children, their lovers, their communities, their families. Sometimes even their home. A lot of times their home look comfortable to mask the fact that they so chaotic inside. But sometimes even their home. Everything they touch turns to a pillar of salt. Any good things that ever happen to them comes from the son that they have. It's not even the daughter. It's the son that they have. They'd be like, oh, I gotta make it big so I can buy my mama a house. Something you never hear girls say. But little boys be like, I gotta get a big baby, my mama a house. And then other men groom her son. Because every child gets groomed. Groom her son to be something great. An athlete, a minstrel of some sort. Perhaps he has a natural gift and they funnel him through the education system and keep him away from black girls so he can get a scholarship to a college. And then if he makes it, then she'd be like, I did it, that's my baby. But she didn't do shit. They're horrible people. They need to be slaves. But at the very least, they need to be trained. Train your toddlers. This is all the mother's fault, by the way. After filming, Mr. Doe called his mother crying, saying he didn't want to film anymore, the lawsuit said. I bet he didn't. The boy's 7 years old, yo. He's 7 years old and just saw an old, fat, ugly black man in his boxer shorts. I bet he don't want to film anymore. I don't want to see that shit when I go to the YMCA to exercise and go into the locker room. Old ass men wearing nothing but a towel, watching fucking MSNBC. I don't want to see that shit. I ain't mad at that 7-year-old boy. Anyway, the lawsuit alleged that the plaintiff's mother repeatedly asked both Spears and Haddish about what
was filmed that made her son cry?
But Spears at one point told her the footage was still not edited and he would get back to her about providing the unedited footage. Haddish said she did not have a copy of the footage, the lawsuit alleged, but it was said it was meant to be a funny skit. Days later, Spears told the mother that John had been so uncooperative that the footage was unusable and was deleted, the lawsuit alleged. It was not until around 4 years later, in June 2018, that the mother learned that the skit featuring her son had been published online, including on the Funny or Die website. The mother, upset, said that she would never leave her son. Let me stop. The mother, upset, stated she would never have let her son participate in a pedophile and child pornography skit. Hold on. She said she would never let her son participate in a pedophile and child pornography skit. Let us scroll up a little bit, just a little bit. It's not going to take too long. The plaintiff's mother, the same mother, dropped off John and Jane together so Jane could chaperone. This same goofy bitch that said she would never let her kid find harm dropped her kids off with a woman that she had just met. Basically, she met the woman when her daughter did something a year before. She met Tiffany Haddish on a public speaking engagement. You can't let me know that her and Tiff is kicking her on the phone every day like they cool. She met Tiff at a public speaking engagement, gave her daughter immediately, like it was some type of sacrifice to the I forgot what you call that shit. But the little devil horn wolf thing. to be Illuminati. Then got a call back a year later. After she apparently, supposedly, she's a good mom, so she would have talked to her 14-year-old daughter by then and found out what the experience was like. And a year later, sacrificed her son to. And say go. Typical little buster, rapist, foster care, homeless, orphan chick. She cool. Cause she a comedian that's not funny, but I seen her on TV. Mom just dropped them off and went. Just dropped them off. Took off. And then gonna turn around, 8 years later. Gonna come back 8 years later and say, 8 years later now, and say she would have never let her son participate in pedophilia child porn. She don't know what the fuck her kids was on. Anyway, Funny or Die, Funny or Die found this to be absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content, a spokesman for the platform said in a statement.
We were not involved in the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018, immediately after becoming aware of its existence.
They said.
The lawsuit alleged that both Jane and John have developed social disorders, with Jane unable to trust anyone since the incident and John suffering from depression and anxiety. They are suing Haddish and Spears for damages. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's a couple of things that I got from this. One of the things I got from this is you did not click like. Click like on this video. Share the video. Click like, though it's free. That's one of the things I figured out. The second thing I figured out was, to me, it seems like a money grab. I am not a Tiffany Haddish supporter. I am not. I don't care if she's from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I think all Chicago women are horrible human beings, and they should burn in Lake Michigan. I understand Lake Michigan is water, but I guarantee you, if you ever saw a witch movie, when witches hit the water, they melt. I think all these bitches should go into Lake Michigan and melt, because they're all witches. I believe that. Even that being said, one time my fault, 2 times your fault. You're a horrible mother, whoever this Jane Doe is. Do you know how little consequence or accountability you have to wait 7 years? 7 years. Until your daughter is old enough. Then give your daughter basically custody of your son. So you're a shitty mom all the way around. And then have your daughter fight the fight that you should have fought 7 years ago. 8 years ago. Girl 22. It happened when she was 14. 8 years ago. If there was a fight to be had. What I believe is they getting the Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, George Foreman treatment. I'm going to reach into the past of any time that I ever met you and we had a real interaction. And I'm going to get my pound of flesh. But I don't want you to go to jail. Just pay me monies. That's what they're doing to George Foreman. That's what they did to R. Kelly. That's what they're doing to Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears. They don't want me to go to jail. It's not a criminal suit. This is a civil suit. I want money because I can't concentrate at school. What? To me, it's all BS. Also, to me, they may have to pay because it's the quote-unquote victim's word against a celebrity's word. But the moral of the story is black women are horrible mothers. If you have a chance and you want a black baby, pay her $5,000 to be your surrogate. You think she cute? Give her $5,000 to give you custody. I've seen girls be surrogates for other women so them other women can be single mothers and charging $500. I've seen it. I did an interview with them. All for a couple racks. Be like, yo, just be my breeder, because that's all you want to be anyway, is a slave breeder. If you don't give me the baby, you just doing the school to prison pipeline with your baby anyway. Sell me the baby. If not, leave these Keishas alone. Nothing good will come from a Keisha. They can help you, or they can fuck you, but they can't do both. So you either put them on your payroll and never touch them, or talk to them. Don't talk to them either. Just put them in a department, right? You hire them. Don't tell them you the boss. Be like, yo, I'm just a temp agent with the HR department, you know what I'm saying? And just hire, and then disappear. Do not even interact with these goofy bitches. They wish you no good. Or pay them for your segment. They can help you, or they can fuck you. They can't do both. They're not help mates. They can't multitask like that. The only way they can multitask is to fuck your brother and go through your phone at the same time. They only multitask for destruction. So I expect nothing less from these goofy ass situations, man. And it's not just because of all liberal women, but you can tell a Keisha you can tell a Karen from a Becky. You can tell a Maylene from a fucking Chi Chi. You can tell a Maria from a Lulu. All y'all black chicks are Keishas until further notice, and I'll tell you why. Because even the ones who say they're not Keishas, if you say something about a Keisha, they'll hop in like, oh, you can't say that about women. So they all Keishas, because people don't defend positions that they're not in. So you got to keep up with that. Anyway, get us arrogant, or check your motherfucking nuts and train your top. With that being said, I'm out. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack.
Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Dirty folks. Know your soul. Know your soul.
Toddler tales are crazy stories that could only happen to me. Each tale is endorsed by Toddlerology and the Marry Your Secretary courses. In a world where toddlers are only loyal to her employer, learn the skills needed to train your toddler to work at your relationship like she works at her job. There's courses for every level of your relationship status, including polygamy. Need support? Join scheduled study groups with other Toddlerology members. Click the link below. And now, back to today's story.